Kartik Mahima will get into it as well. Last Sunday, Kartik month has started, and this is one of the most auspicious month of the year, where it says it's like a discount month. Everything we do gets multifold. All the benedictions, all the benefits. It's very auspicious, very, very, very auspicious. And what we see at the moment on the screen is the Shri Damodar Ashtakam. This particular one has been sung by Radhanath Swamiji Maharaj, but there are many more there. If I share the link, maybe others, if like to cherish, I'll share it there. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Kana. And we have this link. There are many more links on Damodar Ashtakam. Such a beautiful melody. We sing it every day, at least twice. In this month of Kartik, started from last Sunday, which was, I guess, 9th of October till 8th of November. So if you have not arranged already Damodar Aarti at your place, you could invite the devotees around. If there is no one who could come to your place physically, because there are quite many restrictions nearby somewhere, then virtually we can do it. During lockdown, we did virtually as well. So think if and nothing major. You just put together a list of friends. You invite everyone who could make it, and just sing the kirtans and all. We did it last Sunday, and I think it was great auspiciousness which brought back. So, Hare Krishna. I welcome everyone again. Let's resume back to Shri Īśopaniṣad. Shri Īśopaniṣad, mantra 6, we have started. So let's take the blessings of Srila Prabhupada and the Mangala Charan. Feel free to join me. Om Ajnana-timirandasya Jnana-jana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam yena bhutale Swayam Pakaramayam Tadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Gurun Shri Yudapad Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatha Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadhuvitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakha Vitam Shah Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchan Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavanekari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namane Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschat Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Gurudev ki jai, jai jai Shri Radhe Shyam. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Welcome everyone for today's session on Shri Īśopaniṣad. A very quick recap. We have already done 5 verses. We started with the 6th. So the very first thing after invocation of Om Purnamada Purnamidam, which is the invocation mantra Srila Prabhupada used when he delivered very first time Shri Īśopaniṣad here in London. And the mantra 1 of Shri Īśopaniṣad out of 18 mantras based on Īśāvasyam principle. So this one principle, if we remember, most of our troubles in our life will go out. Because most of the troubles we get because of the attachment, because we go attach. And we will not get attached if we understand that this doesn't belong to us, right? It belongs to Krishna. It's not ours. If it's not ours, we don't have ownership on it. And that includes everything and everybody in our relationship. And you can instantaneously, and this is why it says that those who get enlightened, they get rid of everything instantaneously. They don't really have to worry about the progression. So that's the very first mantra. Then the second one, if we live with that mantra, how beautiful the life will be. And this is where the spirituality comes in. Not only the material, but the spiritual life which we are trying to live. And then if we are not in that, it's not that it's a beautiful alternative. If we would like to be happy, which of course, each and every living being, not only human being, but living beings, we all are trying to do the same, try to be happy. Now, of course, the confusion is because some people consider the happiness maybe in the cigarette, in alcohol, in non-veg, in based on where you are. The happiness, the definition of happiness changes. Some people would go out and do party. Some people in Kartik will wake up early in the morning and go in the temple. I remember since my childhood around 4 o'clock, my mother used to go and a lot of ladies. So initially I didn't know what happening. So one day I joined my mom. I went to the temple and even though the temple was quite big, there was no enough space to sit because there were so many ladies there. 4 o'clock in the morning. And sometimes Kartik could be a bit late, because it will end up in November. And in November, it could be cold, especially in Delhi, where I was. But still you will see all the auspicious beings there trying to get the best out of this. But that's not just the alternative. If we don't live in that, then the material world will never able to give us happiness. And this is what we realize. Those who don't have the car or the bigger house, expensive clothes, I always say, they try to get all those things. But once those who get it, they realize, oops, I know it now, that they do give a bit of happiness, but that happiness is what we call, or the Shastras call, Sharabhangur, momentarily. And that it could be a day, it could be a second, it could be a week, but that won't last forever. Or not for long in our own living consciousness. So that's the first phase, invocation, and then the first 3 mantras. Moving on to the next one, 4 to 8, that it's very hard to understand Krishna with our material vision. And that's how the sadhu, shastra, and sangha. So sadhu, the congregation, we can call it as a guru, the Shastra, the scriptures, and the Sangha, the devotee associations, they all help us to understand. Otherwise, it's very hard for us to understand. During lockdown, a lot of, I would say, devotees, they got in touch and the good thing, they started learning, they started reading in their own time, but alone. They got so confused in Shastra. But as soon as they were advised to get in touch with other devotees and try to understand how it goes in the parampara, then they understood the true meaning behind the text. And then it's like, so somebody recently got in touch and said, it's so beautiful. I've read it so many times, but I attended this class, not this our class, but another class, somebody else's class, and somebody explained it so nicely that I understood now what Krishna has been trying to say to Arjun for that long. And now I understand how this could be implemented to us. So that's what we need in the devotee congregation. So moving within 4 to 8 verses, we have done that Ishwar is inconceivable, where it says Ishwar doesn't walk, but it runs. Ishwar is very close, but very far at the same time. So these are inconceivable potencies, like we can't even think about. It's very hard for us even to think about, to understand it. But again, Srila Prabhupada gave many examples, which made us a bit understood, I guess, where we said the sun analogy. Sun is very far away, but sun's energy is everywhere. Sun is at one place, but sun radiations reach all over the world in the universe. So that's how Krishna is. Krishna is somewhere in the spiritual world, but everything is based on Krishna's, the Lord's, the Ishwar's energy. And that's why it says in India, in Hindi, there is a very famous saying that भगवान की मर्जी के बगैर पत्ता भी नहीं हिलता. So not even a leaf could move without the permission of the Lord. And which makes us think that everything which happens, either happened or happening or will happen, Krishna's will is in it, and Krishna has allowed it. And that's the reason devotees are always happy. That because Krishna is the one who is doing this, Ishwar, the Lord. That's why devotees are always happy. Because even if apparently it will look like it's bad, it doesn't make sense. By the end, we realize that it was for our own benefit. So, of course, we all are also going through the reactions of our own actions, which we did in the past, which we have to go through. So whether we go through them with a smile or we complain, that will not make any difference. We will have to go through. But yes, the experience could be much more what verse 6 says now, that we could be very equipoise. So there's a word called that first develop spiritual vision by seeing worldly things, material things, events and people. So things, events and people. So these are the events in life, which is like a COVID, somebody very close, near dear one left the body, left us, never to come back again. And people associated got affected through those events with equanimity, which means equipoise. When somebody wins the lottery, there's no need to throw the party. And when somebody loses something, there's not much to, of course, we will be a bit sad because there was an association which is not there anymore. But we know that Krishna has a plan. We know this happened. Of course, it's very easy to say in theory, but when it comes in practical, it's hard. It's hard. But if we try practicing these things on a small scale, then it gets to the point that even the big decisions, we don't get affected. So there is an example of a devotee. I think in this I read it in the book, a real, but that was a Buddhist devotee, and he had a Davis Harvey, I think, which is a very expensive bike, a motorbike, and was in Australia. So just like in UK, the bikes very expensive. This like could be double of the amount of the car. This is one of the famous bike in the world, and the guy loved it to bits. There was nothing else he loves, and he went there to listen to a discourse, listen to a lecture, and it was a multi-story car park. He parked it on level 2. He went in, had a great time. After a couple of hours, when he came back, he noticed somebody stole his bike. And it was like such a big impact on him. He looked at it for a few seconds. He could not even think how his life will move on. But didn't take long because he was a practicing devotee and he had just spent a couple of hours with devotees listening to his Guru Maharaj. He thought about it and he said, okay, I think Lord is giving me the opportunity to practice to let it go. So there's nothing else I'm attached in my life. That was the only thing I was attached. Maybe this is a sign. Maybe this is a indication from above that I should let it go as well. And he described in his words that as soon as I said that to myself, that all right, I'll let it go. I'll let you go in peace. Whoever has stolen it might make good use of it, but it's not mine anymore. It was supposed to go one time. Either I was supposed to leave it or this machine was supposed to leave me. I let it go. As soon as he said it, he said that I experienced such a bliss that I could not even express in words. I had never felt that in my life. And at that moment, somebody else came and said, hey, what are you doing here? I thought you always park on level 2. And he said, what? This is not level 2. He said, no, this is level 3. And the guy didn't realize that by mistake, while he was leaving the lecture, he was coming by stairs with other devotees. He was just in chit and chat and he got to level 3. He rushed back to level 2 and his Davis Harvey was there, his bike was there. And he said that that incident has left such a big impact. And now, if I will lose my bike, I'm sure I will not be, because I'm not attached with that bike. Of course, he was very happy to get it back, but he said, I'm nowhere as attached to it as I was before that. And that experience itself. So when he wrote the book, that he said it was nearly 10 years, but he said, I could still feel that bliss. And this is what it is. So the detachment we have, that detachment itself gives such a big bliss. Reason being, the attachment we have is a misery. Attachment gives us so much stress, so many anxieties. If we just leave those things, that's it. And there's another example where a monkey came. So there was somebody who was supposed to get hold of a monkey. And this guy put a banana in a big flask where monkey's hand could go. A monkey came, monkey saw the flask was transparent. He could see the banana. He put his hand and he got hold of the banana. But now he could not take out the banana. To do that, he had to rotate the banana, which being monkey, he wasn't very clever to do it. He was just pulling the banana out and banana got stuck. And this guy was nearby. He came out and he started hitting the monkey. That you were the one who was ruining he was a farmer. So you were ruining all my farm. And he's hitting the banana. He's hitting the farmer, he's hitting the monkey, right? Not very hard, but with the newspaper and all. But you naughty boy, you've been doing it. And the monkey is there taking all that hitting, but he's not letting that banana go. Now, what's the source of misery for the monkey? The attachment he has to the banana. He just needs to leave the banana and he could run away. The farmer could never catch monkey. Monkey could just climb the trees where he has always been. But he's just taking all that beating because he's so attached. He doesn't want to leave that banana. We all might laugh on this, but thinking about it, we all do that. We all do that. And this is what these two verses of Shri Īśopaniṣad suggesting, that if we will be equipoise, which means that we will not get attached to material things. And the verse itself, Yastu Sarvani Bhutani Atmane. Atmane is for the soul. And this is a very, we will see this verse even in more detail, which is if anu pashyanti. So we will see this verse, what that word itself means in this verse. Sarva bhuteshu chatmanam tato na vichu gupasite. And the translation of this verse by Srila Prabhupada ji, he who systematically sees that it's not that just somebody said it and blindfolded, I will see what happens, how I do and all. Systematically, okay, if the Shastra says this, let's do that. Okay, Shastra says this means that. So try to understand with the logical mind. And of course, not try to understand Krishna with logical mind, but try to understand all the material things, which we can. We have, we did with the kids. I don't think we have done it in the adult class. There is something called Journey of Self-Discovery. As a part of Journey of Self-Discovery, and this is another book written by Srila Prabhupada ji, and their lecture of series based on that. We did it in kids class, where we can see that how everything could be considered as, well, Krishna could be considered the source of everything we have. And there's another verse we have seen in Bhagavad Gita chapter 3 at the end, where we said that the rain comes because we give offering to Krishna, because we do yajna. And this is what used to happen in the past as well, that yajnas used to be maintained and how the whole ecosystem was in place. So this is all systematically, not just that, it's not a blind faith. He who systematically sees everything in relation to Supreme Lord, who sees all living entities, there is no exception. So it doesn't say that it's only for Hindu, it's only for Gauriya Vaishnava, it's only for neophyte devotees, it's only for Vedic disciples, not for non-Vedic, those who are Abrahamic religion. It's for all living entities, and that includes the trees, that includes the birds, that includes all the animal kingdom. So all living entity as his parts and parcel. Of course, this also been mentioned in Bhagavad Gita as well, that we all living beings are part and parcel of Krishna. And this is what the invocation mantra also says, Om Purnamada Purnamidam. Like Krishna is Purna and we come out of Krishna and we are also Purna. And that's what materially we can try to gather as many things as we want, but spiritually we don't really need anything from outside. The only thing from outside we can take is that we have the fire inside, but it's in dormant form. Like we have Kapoor. Kapoor is there, everything is there in it. It's a fuel. If the temperature, the environment will go up, which could be itself. So if we take the Kapoor outside in a very hot environment, Kapoor will just burn itself. Like we have seen the example of, in the science, we do the experiments where the paper is there and the magnifying glass is there. If you just put the magnifying glass at the front of the sun's radiation will concentrate, focus on one point, and all of them will fall on the paper and paper will burn, right? So what happened? The environment was such, the temperature increased and the fire just came from the paper itself. So the love for Krishna is already there within us. We all are a spiritual being, but we have just forgotten all about it. So we just need Guru, Sadhu, Shastra to rekindle that love. And that's the whole point. And when we go to the temple, we feel very serene. We feel very nice. Why? Because of the environment. Nothing else been given from outside. It's just the environment. And if we develop that environment in our home, if we develop that environment within us, so whoever comes to our home will feel the same. Whoever will meet us will feel the same. Whoever we will meet. So when Srila Prabhupada was there, he went to America. And in America, everyone felt like, that's it. We don't need anything else. People go to Vrindavan, but there are many examples where in America, Srila Prabhupada is a great example, but there are many more saints like Srila Prabhupada. What Srila Prabhupada did was unprecedented. But even for Swami Vivekananda, Paramahansa Yogananda, there were so many disciples who, when they heard about, when they saw the picture and it was in the news, they flew wherever they were just to meet the Guru. And when there was another disciple who said, I flew so far away and I saw Srila Prabhupada, I met him, I saw him first time in person, I just started crying. I didn't know why. And Srila Prabhupada, he just let me cry. And at the end, I just stayed with him. And he didn't ask me anything. And I didn't say anything. But slowly, gradually, I just observed him. And he said that I was. Later on, when I read the Shastras, he said, and he's a Western devotee, so didn't know much about the Vedic Shastras, but through Srila Prabhupada and our other devotees, he said, I understand now, while the time I was spending with Srila Prabhupada, I was actually qualifying him as my guru. So with all the systematic knowledge. And then I could understand that what he was saying, he was actually practicing himself. And many devotees who spend time with Srila Prabhupada said the same thing. So equipoise. Very good analogy is Bhakti Tirtha Swamiji Maharaj. He was Black African American, and he was very fearsome. If you want to hear Bhakti Tirtha Swamiji Maharaj's lecture, very powerful lecture. On YouTube we can find, and there are many websites. But initially, so he was Black and he was in America. So even though 100 years back, the slavery was abandoned, but still there was a big difference how Black people were treated. So when Bhakti Tirtha Swamiji Maharaj heard about Srila Prabhupada, he got associated, and then after spending some time, he was disappointed because some of the devotees were discriminating as well. So Bhakti Tirtha Swamiji Maharaj went to Srila Prabhupada and said, Prabhupada, these devotees are doing the same. What's the difference between these people and those white people who discriminate me and us being Black? And Srila Prabhupada said, you're right. These devotees, they all are not pure devotees. Hence, they still see the difference. But if you would do the same, what will be the difference between you and them? So you are as pure soul as anyone could be. And then this is what coming from Bhakti Tirtha Swamiji Maharaj. He said, when Srila Prabhupada said that, I felt that acceptance from him, that never mind anyone else, Srila Prabhupada, he sees me like any other devotee. And of course, he does. He has always done it. Reason being, Srila Prabhupada didn't see the body. He always saw everyone as the soul. And the soul is neither black, nor white, nor brown. And then Bhakti Tirtha Swamiji Maharaj, so Srila Prabhupada said to him that this is all material. How about you? So you can spend, because he was part of that movement as well. But then Srila Prabhupada said, how about rather than materially letting people know that we should forget about the difference between black and white, how about you let them know that we should not differentiate based on anything else? Never mind the body. We should go out and beyond of the body, and we should realize ourselves as the spiritual being, which I'm sure you are. Hence, you go back to those people and let them know what you have realized. And indeed, Bhakti Tirtha Swamiji Maharaj did such a great service, such a great person, elevated Krishna conscious person he was in the movement. So if you get chance, please listen to some of his lectures. He was a great leader, and still a lot of devotees follow him to bits. So there are some great examples who followed this example of ours from Shri Īśopaniṣad, where it says that if we will hate nothing no more. And imagine such a beautiful place it could be. So going further, we saw the differences between Kanishta, Madhya, and Uttam. And then we will see oneness. Oneness, in a sense, that we will see everything is spiritual, even though we are in material world. Again, this morning we were having Chaitanya Charitamrita class, and the Prabhuji who was delivering the lesson, he said the same thing, that we should understand that we are in material world, but if we get connected to Krishna, then this material world could be transitioned into spiritual world, which means that we will feel it. And of course, there are many devotees who are great examples of these, like where everyone else were miserable due to COVID, even those devotees who lost their family members, they were still preaching, and they got even more, because through in-person preaching they had limits, but through online there wasn't any limit. And I must say it's a blessing for myself as well. I got connected to so many. Just after this session, I have a meeting, and there are 4 devotees there in that meeting, and all 4, well, 2 are different states of India, and another one is in different country, and I'm in a different country. So we all 4 are in different places, and we are just going to discuss some of the services available. But this wouldn't have been possible otherwise. So COVID for devotees has done a great service, because the preaching practices, the opportunity to learn, opportunity to connect is great. So great. So the difference between Kanishta, Madhyam, and Uttam, these are different grades. And this is just for our understanding. This is not to discriminate anyone, because remember, the last thing it says is the oneness. That once we will reach to the level of Uttama, then that Uttama will see everyone as oneness, like what Srila Prabhupada used to say, like what Bhakti Tirth Maharaj did it later. So we have seen the example of Kanishta Adhikari being a neophyte, somebody who has just joined the movement and maybe a bit committed, but has not taken the initiation. Initiation is that formal. It's like Oxford, Cambridge universities are there. We can go and we can do small courses there, but we are not admitted to do PhD. We have not decided completely yet that this is the university we are going to do PhD. And PhD in a sense that it's taking long time. Because Srila Prabhupada said that Bhakti Shastri, which is like Bhagavad Gita, is a undergrad course. And then Bhagavatam is postgrad course. And then Chaitanya Charitamrita is PhD, which is the top level, learning about Chaitanya Mahaprabhuji. So if we take Harinam initiation, then we know we are going to get progress. There is no other. Because it says we should not take initiation from 2 gurus. Not in one sampradaya, any other sampradaya. Any authentic sampradaya, if we go, for example, Gauriya Vaishnava is one, Shri Sampradaya is another, Rudra Sampradaya is another. If someone will take initiation in Shri Sampradaya and will come to Gauriya Sampradaya, ISKCON, then the guru or even the Siksha gurus before, they will ask you. They will ask, have you taken initiation from someone else? If you will say yes, then the answer will be, then very first thing, you should follow that guru. No one will try to compel, oh, that's a different guru. Oh, no, you should not leave him or her and come to us. No. You have promised your guru, or whichever sampradaya, whichever authentic sampradaya your guru is from, you should follow. However, for some reason, if you don't, maybe because of circumstances, maybe because of the guru's standing in the society, if something has changed, then at least go back to guru and take permission from guru. That thank you so much, I was there with you, but do I have permission from you to move away because I want to spend time with them? Should take it. But of course, the only other, it says in Shastras, the only one time when the disciple could leave Guru is when Guru is fallen, which happens very rare, but it does happen that maybe Guru was not authentic. Maybe Guru could not control and fall in Maya. So Guru is not a true Vaishnava anymore. And then the disciple could leave. This is what Shastra says. Otherwise, as long as the Guru is good standing, which means Guru is a great Vaishnava, as Shastra says a Guru should be, the disciple should not leave. It doesn't really matter which sampradaya somebody is in, as long as it's authentic sampradaya. So I keep saying authentic means that it's not that there are many examples. I will not take names, but they could be like one person has become a guru now, and he has just opened his own center, and he's giving sannyasa, and he's giving initiations. Well, what authority that person has, but he's doing it. So that's not authentic, and that's why we have seen most of the time these gurus, they fall down after a while. So that's why it's, if we want to do medical degree, engineering degree, or any kind of degree, we will go to the authentic university rather than just going to anyone who has opened something in an office or in one of the rooms in the home. The spiritual discussion, of course, we could always do. So Kanishta is somebody who's very new, who might be still exploring, who has not decided completely yet, is still going through, but the person is still chant the name of holy name, or we always do, which is Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So at my home, I got two kids, 13 years Aryan and 10 years Shivani. So in the morning after Aarti, I always say the very first thing, chant 1 round, 2 rounds, based on how early you need to go to school. And the same thing in evening as well. So in evening, after our evening Aradhana, Puja, we sit down for Prasadam. So between those, have 1 mala, 2 mala. And it's so beautiful. If you have not done it, then please, we have small mala. Otherwise, there are 108. If you have mala, good. If you don't have mala, just sit. And if you, for some reason, can't, or you're doing something, maybe Saturday, Sunday is a day when you want to clean the house, just put these. So this morning I was listening to something, and I changed, because at 7 o'clock the Guru Puja was about to start in Mana. So I had that YouTube channel open, and it was about to start. So I stopped one of the kirtan I was listening. So Shivani said, "Why did you stop? It's so nice." So see, the kids. So it wasn't for Shivani. It wasn't for her. I was listening it, and I said, "Okay, we still have few minutes, so we can listen to this kirtan." But because a Guru Puja is about to start, we will attend the Guru Puja, which is on YouTube from Bhaktivedanta Mana, which is great. This is there's a link there on YouTube where we can follow, and once you will follow a few times, it will always be there for you. Hare Krishna. So I will share the link if in case somebody might not have it. But every morning we have these pujas going on, Damodar Ashtakam there. Awesome, beautiful. And they attach, we get attached to these, and this is a real attachment. This is a spiritual attachment. We are not looking for anything in return. We are not praying to Krishna, so Krishna will give us something. If you listen, hopefully you will feel that transcendental vibes in those prayers, artis, kirtan. So this is what Kanishta is. Might not know a lot of things, but still get attracted towards holy name and still practicing. And we all are. We all are. I will put myself into that category as well. And then if we will go further, because if you see, even here it says is a neophyte who has received Harinam initiation. So I have Harinam initiation. So I'm also falling into this category as a Kanishta. And I try to take the name of the Lord offenselessly, with a focus, with concentration. And this is Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 11, Chapter 2, verse 47. which is where it's been mentioned a bit more that a person who is very faithfully engaged in the worship of deity. So this is what the neophyte does. That sees when we go to temple, Kanishta adhikaris see the deity and know that okay, deity has a God. Otherwise, will not get interaction with anyone else there in the temple. But who does not know how to behave towards devotees or people in general is called prakrta, which is natural bhakta or kanishta adhikari. So one should not remain kanishta adhikari, one who is situated on the lowest platform of devotional service and is interested only in worshipping the deity in the temple. This is what Srila Prabhupada ji said, that this is the lowest, that at least if we are Hindus, at least when we will go to the temple, we will look at the deity, we will say, okay, Krishna is there, the God is there, right? But we don't know how to interact with devotees. Most of the time, most of the Hindus are like that. I was the same. And even now when we visit the temple, we just go and we take darshan and come out. But we should spend time with devotees. We should try to understand a lot more. Try to get the pastimes. Such a beautiful thing about Indian temples that wherever you will go in south, in middle of India, in UP, Uttar Pradesh, in Madhya Pradesh, there are so many nice temples, and every temple has a story behind it. So try to know the story, speak to the priest. Priest will be more than happy to discuss, and then we understand the bhava. Every temple has a story of the Lord, a story of the deity, and there is always a devotee connected to the Lord. That this devotee prayed to this, and that's why it got to this level where the devotee is also there. Many examples. So one therefore has to raise himself from the position of Kanishta Adhikari to the platform of Madhyam Adhikari. And this is where we will see this maybe a bit later, but it says how to treat various devotees. This is very interesting. Now imagine if you visit the temple and if you see two people standing, one is a neophyte, something very new, and the other person is a Swamiji Maharaj, is a sannyasi. What we will do? Are we just going to do Hare Krishna to both of them? The Shastra says we should treat them differently. We should give both of them respect, but we need to give more respect to the sannyasi. And now, of course, this could be a bit mechanical, but once and if we know about that person, we will automatically do that. For example, when we go, let's see, so when I invited people over last Sunday, some people who knew each other because they were common friends, they came, they just said hello, and the others came who were new. So with the new, maybe they just said hello, they said Hare Krishna, and some others who were really near and dear ones, they shook hands, they hugged them. So one of the devotees who came to my place, I hugged him. I didn't hug everyone, but I hugged him. So this way, it depends how we interact. Yes, please. Hare Krishna. Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Yes, when we go to the temple, I found that once you know somebody there, like your own people or with whom you're going to, you can interact with them. But in the temple, when you don't know other devotees, how do you sort of start the conversation, go with them? Because my observation is that everybody's is so intense onto the Krishna that they are in their own world, going to one place, other place, and it's very difficult to interrupt them or how to start this conversation with the other devotees.
True. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for such a nice and practical question, Mataji. Well, maybe we will come back to this, how to treat, but it says, so when this question is usually asked, the answer is that we should always keep ourselves humble. We should consider ourselves neophyte and everyone else at least madhyam, middle, which means we will give respect to everyone considering they are better than us, which will help in our own Krishna consciousness. So we will always be humble. So we will never think, oh, they are not doing anything, we are doing so much. No, maybe we can't see what they are doing. So we will always consider all of them Madhyam. And if anyone among them is Uttam, then after spending some time, we will find out. Sometimes when I say Uttam, they are usually the Swamiji Maharaj. So a lot of them, they have the danda with them. Their clothes are different. Sometimes, well, Keshav Maharaj is different. He's very young. He's of my age. But other, usually we know by their presence that they are Uttam Adhikari. But safer side, if you consider everyone Madhyam Adhikari. So so obviously if somebody is Uttam Adhikari, they consider and they see everyone exactly same. They have no definition of neophyte, Madhyam and Uttam. They don't. Being neophyte, if we consider everyone Madhyam, it's very, very safe for us. And if somebody is Uttam, we will automatically find out. We will. So it's like if you are sitting among friends and somebody else, a friend will come whose maybe whose birthday is today. So we will very soon, we will not even have to ask, nobody will have to tell us. Very soon we will find out today is something special with this friend. Well, maybe that friend is not our friend. If we are there with a common friend, we will find out something is special today for him or her. And that's why the person is especially maybe dressed differently. Maybe everyone is going after him. So Uttam Adhikaris they are very well present and we can feel their presence. But if we just consider everyone Madhyam. Now the only confusion is for Madhyam Adhikari. Now the good thing is we are not there yet. If we are neophytes, if at least I can say for myself. But if somebody is Madhyam Adhikari, then the challenge is there. Because Madhyam Adhikari is not Uttam Adhikari, which means he has still the differentiation between neophyte and Uttam Adhikari. And Madhyam Adhikari sometimes fall into this practice of thinking that I am Madhyam and others are neophyte. So if we will see how Madhyam is Madhyam, like who is Madhyam. So Madhyam is somebody in the middle. So received a spiritual initiation from a spiritual master, has been fully engaged by him, by Guru, in the transcendental loving service of the Lord, which is that devotees, disciples, they follow the spiritual Guru, the spiritual master, and try to serve him, try to serve other devotees. And if you see in ISKCON, a lot of, well, of course, some they take initiation and they go away, they disappear. But a lot of devotees who are associated with some temple, they belong to this category. So I've just completed Bhakti Vaibhav, and there were roughly 26 devotees to start with. Later on, some of them, they had to leave for obvious personal reasons. But I will say all of them are preachers. And all of them, without any exception, will fall into this category of Madhyam. Because they are, and some are here in UK as well, they are volunteering their personal life and time in serving the instruction of Guru, which is serving others. So for Madhyam Adhikari, we see that it could be a bit hard because they are doing a lot more than neophytes. And sometimes they fall down. But if you're Uttam, you will not see the difference. You will always respect everyone equally. If you are neophyte, you consider everyone as Madhyam. If you are Madhyam Adhikari, then it's a fine line, and then the confusion could be there. And that Madhyam Adhikari will definitely kind of differentiate whether the person is neophyte or not. And this also happens when we go out doing book distribution. Let's say we are on the road. So I was there in France, in Paris, even in London. So we just go on the road, and whoever is coming, we will try to stop and give Bhagavad Gita or many other books from Srila Prabhupada. So luckily enough, at my place, I had the whole tray book of Bhagavad Gita and all other books by Srila Prabhupada. And at the end, I said, please take this prasad before you leave, and also take at least one book from here. And then I was surprised, many of the books were gone. Like at the end, I think there were only 2 books left, maybe out of 25. And I was surprised that devotees, they have the appetite for spiritual. So that's how, Mataji, we can think about it. But I agree, it's a bit hard.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Haribol, Mataji. So, but if we are Madhyam, if as and when we will reach to Madhyam Adhikari level, then we have to be a bit more cautious. Neophyte is okay. Neophyte is neophyte. Everybody will forgive neophyte. Like the child is there, somebody is very new. Nobody is going to take any offense from neophyte. Well, the Lord only take offense when somebody does the offense towards the devotees. It's like if I have 2 children, my eldest child will come and maybe shout on me. I will say, oh, he's a child, he's upset on something, never mind. But if the same child will bully the second child, then I will not spare the first one. Then I will not spare my eldest child, because I will say, well, you could do the offense towards me, I can forgive you, but you cannot do offense towards your sibling. So that's how Krishna is. That Krishna takes the offense, Krishna will forgive. But if we do the offense towards devotees, then Krishna will say that's not nice. This is what happened in the time of Durvasa Muni. Durvasa Muni offensed Amrish Maharaj ji. And then Krishna's chakra just followed Durvasa Muni, and Durvasa Muni went to Brahma, Shivji, and then Krishna. Krishna said, I can't do anything. It was my chakra. I didn't order my chakra. My chakra always takes care of whoever comes to offense my devotee. So you have to go to the chakra. Chakra is there to follow, to kill you. Then Durvasa went back to devotee, Amrish Maharaj. When Amrish Maharaj ji forgave Durvasa Muni, the chakra stopped and chakra disappeared. And then Durvasa Muni said that I can understand the potency of your bhakti, of your devotional service. That you didn't ask for it. Krishna and Krishna's energies are there to save you. And this is how a pure devotee is always happy and feels secure. Just like Prahlad Maharaj. Prahlad Maharaj, little 5 years old boy, is not afraid of a demon king, his own father who is trying to kill and try to kill so many ways. And Krishna in the form of Vishnu was always there to save him. And that's why Narsimha Arti is so famous among children devotees, and they know the mantra as well. Narsimha mantra, which is quite big as well. Narsimha Arti is small, but Narsimha mantra is big, and some of the devotees' children, they just remember it. So I would say those devotee children would fall into Madhyam Adhikari, because they are trying to serve other devotees. So Madhyam Adhikari should be considered to be situated midway in devotional service. And so this is from mantra 6, Srila Prabhupada ji is giving in the Parpat. But Bhagavatam also explains about this. So next verse, we saw 46th verse before. Now this is 47th verse. Bhagavatam, Canto 11, Chapter 2, 47th verse. The Madhyam Adhikari is a devotee who worships the Supreme Personality of Godhead as the highest object of love, makes friends with the Lord's devotees. This is the main difference between neophyte and Madhyam. So neophyte only focus on the deity. Deity worship is the main thing. Ignores the devotee congregation. But Madhyam Adhikari understands that in order to serve Krishna, we have to serve devotees. We cannot serve alone. We have to serve in devotees. Understand the importance of Sangha. Is merciful to the ignorant, which means, again, Madhyam Adhikari is supposed to be merciful to the ignorant. Who is ignorant? Maybe neophyte, or maybe those who are not even on Krishna conscious path. So neophyte will easily ignore, or supposed to ignore. As I said, some of them sometimes don't, because they are not pure yet. And avoids those who are envious by nature. So sometimes some of them, they are envious as well. Not only who are non-devotees, some devotees could be there as well. As I said, non-neophyte devotees, but Madhyam Adhikari could easily forgive them. Easily forgive them. Even though the difference between Madhyam and Uttam will not even recognize any offense, will not even see that there are any differences. Madhyam is at the level where Madhyam will see and recognize the differences, that okay, this is neophyte, this is Madhyam, and this is Uttam, but will not take any offenses from the neophytes. Will say, okay, no worries. I understand you are, you might be jealous, you might be envious of me, but we know you are ignorant. It's okay. No worries. This is what Madhyam Adhikari is, as per this verse. So it says, so kaha karoti, yaha karoti sa madhyamaha. So this is where Madhyam Adhikari, the term comes in. And similarly, if we will go further, so we will do Uttam Adhikari next time, and then we will compare. There are many comparisons in between. We will do from, so this is from the Parpat. We have seen some of the slides from Chaitanya Charan Prabhuji. We will see, and I can give you the gist of it. We will see how, so if we will see this is from not Radhanath Swamiji Maharaj. I forgot the name of the Prabhuji. We go Radhe Shyam Prabhuji. This is from Radhe Shyam Prabhuji, how he differentiates Kanishta, and then we will see the same thing with Madhyam and Uttam. So he has given different how he sees, how he behaves. Similar thing, but in a different format. This is again coming from Srila Prabhupada's Parpats. So this is what we need to understand. Now, why do we need to understand this? Kanishta, Madhyam, and Uttam. So 3 different levels, how the spiritual vision is, right? So we understand where we are, it will help us. So rather than focusing on others, we need to focus on ourselves. We need to understand where we are in the journey. So when we follow the GPS, sometimes we check, oh, how far we are, or whether there is a traffic in between, whether we are on the right track, right? We do check GPS now and then. It's for that purposes. There's no way that Shastras is saying that we need to differentiate, to discriminate. No, we need to differentiate for our own understanding so we can progress further. Remember, the whole purpose of the Shastras are to help us to realize the Lord, the presence of Lord everywhere. And this is why it says, once we will understand that, then we will develop the spiritual vision. What to avoid and what to accept. And that's it. So this is how simple it is. We will know the differences between all. We will know who does what kind of activities, what the consciousness is, and why do we need to understand? So we can reach to this level where we know what to do and what not to do. What to do, what not to do. This is what's going to make difference in our life. So this is mantra 6. And we will continue, and we will try to conclude mantra 6 next time. Think of this the whole week, and we can take some questions if there are any, and we will try to get even further in our sadhana, in understanding Shri Īśopaniṣad. With that, thank you so much for everyone's presence today. Look forward to hear you next Sunday, 9:30 a.m. UK time. With that, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gurudev Maharaj ki jai, Jai Shri Radhe Shyam. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you, Ajay. Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, will you show us this slide? We'll discuss this slide again next week.
Yes, Mataji, we will.
The last one. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Thank you.
Krishna.
Thank you.